thing is, we see most of our bone loss show up in, menopausal women. And it shows up in menopausal women because estrogen is responsible for driving calcium to their bones and building up that bone structure. And when their estrogen falls off, guess what? There's no more calcium going into their bones. Okay, so usually what you see here is a high calcium in the bloodstream, and that's caused by calcium being taken away from the bones. Okay? It's not actually from your supplementation, it's from calcium coming out of your bones because you are missing the hormone that is putting it there. Estrogen is the primary driver of this, right? Like IGF-1 does it somewhat, but estrogen is the primary driver for this. And this is why if you are noticing significant bone loss, you need to go to the doctor, you need to get your blood work done. And of course, right, if you're over like 48, your estrogen is going to be low. Okay, so the second your estrogen gets low, you're automatically at risk for osteoporosis, and you need to get this checked out, and you need to talk to them about getting on HRT. A lot of women freak out about HRT. They feel like it's unnatural, it's a medication, yada yada yada. Listen, let me tell you something that's real. That's a real truth right now. I see this all the time. People, especially women, you guys are real bad about this because you think your friends aren't on HRT, but they are lying to you. Not probably 5 out of 8 of your lady friends that skirt around this question when you ask them are actually taking it. But for some reason, this gets stigmatized in the female community. So all you think that you're like the only one using this and that you're cheating or something, but that's total BS, right? It's like all of you guys are on it, okay? As you should be, because it's good for your health, right? It's saving people from breaking their hips, from, tripping on the Lego and stuff. The crazy thing is you guys will take 20 supplements in the morning and then you trip out over an estrogen patch. Listen, your 20 pills is hurting your body more than that estrogen patch ever will. Okay? When you take a supplement, it goes into your body and then it gets broken down by your liver. The more pills you take, the harder your liver has to work. And over time, that adds up. Now, if you're taking an estrogen patch, yeah, a little bit of it's going to go through your liver, but it's not going to be that bad. That's only one thing. So you're taking one thing versus 20 things to try and get the same impact of this one drug, right? And the drug is actually going to do its job. These supplements, man, like once your pituitary is done, it's done, right? You can take all the ashwagandha in the world and all the DHEA in the world, and it is not going to start your estrogen back up because your body is not ever going to produce it again. It is done. Okay, and that's something that you need to understand. So get on the HRT. It's going to most likely be life-changing. But on another note, you need to be prepared to give that time. It can take a year to get your blood work dialed in. Women are complicated, so you can't go into this and think, well, let me just try it. It doesn't work that way. Listen, you need to be on HRT and you need to get the dose right and you need to get patient. Women have a tendency to be impatient. They gain 3 pounds, they freak out, they get off the HRT, right? Because they're like, oh my God, the estrogen is making me gain weight. And then what happens is, a year down the road, their osteoporosis is 10 times worse because they did not solve the problem. Okay, so you need to be patient, you need to give it time, you need to keep up with your blood work, and you need to educate yourself. You need to do research, you need to not chat GPT it, stop watching these stupid influencer videos. Don't trust info from people like me, right? I'm just giving you bits and pieces to make you aware. You need to go look up stuff on PubMed, you need to read published articles, right? That's where I learn my stuff. I don't sit around and watch YouTube videos. I think they're dumb. All of these people are just yapping about stuff that they read on the internet, okay? And you need to be informed and you need to advocate for yourself. Ask your doctor the hard questions Doctors forget things. They're not always out to get you. They got a lot of clients. They can't sit there and keep up with your stuff. You are not the only person. Okay? So ask questions, advocate for yourself. Every time you go to the doctor, you need to know what's going on, right? You need to look at your own blood work. You need to say, why is this? Why is this that? Be paranoid, be a hypochondriac, whatever. But also, before you walk in there and you ask your doctor a bunch of questions, you also need to research all of your questions on your own and take charge of your health. The problem with people nowadays, they shove all their health off on everybody else, right? Like, I get it all the time too. Before people, go research stuff, they'll ask me about it. They don't bother to research it first, right? They ask me, well, how many calories does this have? Well, you could type it into Google, right? And find out, like, that's 10 times better for you down long term than if I just spoon feed you the information. And it's the same thing with your doctor. The more effort that you make into understanding how your body works and your hormones work, the better the results will be and the better your experience will be on HRT. All right, so don't be scared of it. Look up statistics on it. Do your research, right? Talk to your friends, press your friends. Listen, ladies, if you guys were just honest with each other, nobody would have this stigma about HRT. Men are not doing this to you guys. Ladies are the ones putting peer pressure on other ladies not to talk about HRT, right? And so that's wrong. Okay, so be open with each other. All right, ladies, thanks.